Okay.
All right.
All right, everybody. Well, this is great to have you back on. We are great to have our guest, Dr. Huey, on once again. Just grateful of great information for you. And tonight we're going to actually do a little bonus for you as well. So welcome to beeducatedinyourhealth.com. I'm Daniel Bernard, Pro 8 with the company LifeVantage. And so what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Dr. Huey. We're going to go and go to our a video explaining our flagship product, which gives us the technology on which the other products that we have, of course, of which tonight we're talking about your clean gut health and why that's so important. And we'll be talking about the pre and probiotic. And so as we introduce that, there's so many probiotics and prebiotics out there. And so we're going to talk about a little bit what about ours? Why are we separated from the pack in regard to that? Dr. Hugh will explain that. But this video that we're about to share with you, of course, gives us the foundation of the technology of which most of our products are built upon. So having said that, again, we want to welcome Dr. John Huey. He is a chiropractor, educated out of Canada, and he's had a wellness facility called Tarpon Total Health Care here in Tarpon Springs, Florida, for the last 30 years. He's also a certified, board certified nutritionist, and we'll get into all the credentials there, but there are a lot of them. You can always just look him up, and so it's great to have you, John. I appreciate you being on. We're gonna roll the film, show the video, and then you got it. So you'll just take over right after that. So let's watch about our flagship product here. Sound, Kathy.
Is it working?
I don't hear the sound, Kathy. No, and it's not the crazy yellow pill.
That is.
All right. Well, hey, we got a little bit of technical difficulties here, so we're going to move on with Dr. Huey, and so we'll introduce that in the other section here. And so many of you who are watching, of course, if you have a guest, you can introduce that video to them. But Dr. Huey, we're going to hand it over to you. Thank you again for being on, and if you don't mind, go ahead and share with us about these two products. Thank you.
All right, so you can see my slide presentation now?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for having me, you two. I hope that I'm not sure which video you're trying to get on there. What you said was the little yellow pill video?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. We'll talk a little bit about that at the very end here. So I updated this in from about 3.5 years ago, this presentation. I hope you enjoy it. As Daniel was kind enough to mention before, I am a chiropractor in beautiful downtown Tarpon Springs, educated in Canada, University of Toronto, a couple years grad school, then chiropractic college also up in Canada, and I've been down in Florida since 1991. So it's 30 years down here, which is wonderful, and I like it. So we're talking about the biohacking of the GI system, obviously, for the 21st century, and the jokes don't get any better after this one. It's making the most out of what you've got. I hope that everybody appreciates that horrible joke here. There we are. So the key to longevity, I like that word, longevity. Not just being younger, but being younger and healthier as we age, physiologically, mentally, our immune system as well. So I like this quote from Jackie Mason years ago. It says, "It's no longer a question of staying healthy. It's a question of finding a disease that you like." I don't like that idea. It may sound funny, but anymore, especially with the pandemic now, it's healthcare is in the forefront of everyone's mind, everyone's brain, everyone's consciousness, and it's a good thing to get a handle on. But we want to stay healthy and not worry about the next disease that we're going to have here. So why all the fuss about probiotics? You've heard a lot about probiotics and prebiotics. Let me just move this here a little bit so it's out of my way there. Any probiotic is a microorganism, bacteria basically in the body, and it has beneficial qualities. If it's just a good old-fashioned bacteria that can cause pathological problems, certain bacterial and fungal infections, it's not a probiotic, then it's a pathogen. So probiotic is for life by definition. And people say, well, I thought that bacteria caused infections and were bad for us, and they are some that can kill us without a doubt. But probiotics in our gut are particularly important, and without them, we would not survive. And you want to know about this, and I'll tell you all about it. So we're talking about immune system health. We're talking about overall physical health. And when patients have poor immune system health, they invariably will have, as they get older and as adults, autoimmune issues. And I always tell my autoimmune patients, whether it's rheumatoid or Sjogren's or scleroderma, it's never a function of bad luck, but bad gut. There are conditions, and heaven knows I know this personally, that are genetic, where children can have autoimmune problems that are in their genes, and that's a different situation. But what we're dealing with by and large in the public right now is the fact that people have autoimmune problems as adults, and that gets down to your gut. So what you don't want to do is dig your own grave with your spoon and fork, which is an old English proverb. So what goes on in the gut anyways? You can hear me okay there, Daniel? Just want to make sure. He's got his mic off. Okay.
We can hear you fine.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I should have asked that before. So many processes go inside the body, obviously, but when it comes to the gut, 80% of your immune system is dedicated to keeping the gut healthy. So you have to remember, it's basically we're attached open at both ends, so to speak, and it's a battlefield that goes on every single moment, every single second of your life between the outside and inside world. That battle, if it's won, we stay healthy, our immune system stays healthy, we don't develop autoimmune problems. If it is lost, then we have issues where our ability to stave off infection and disease goes away. So what happens is we digest food there, produce vitamins there, detoxifies things that otherwise would kill us. We sample the outside environment to let our immune system learn and grow and adapt to what's going on, both in our dietary environment and what we're breathing. All that gets into the gut at some point. Those are not insignificant tasks at all. They're all extremely complicated, and the problems are, if we abuse our gut, then that ability to digest, produce vitamins, detoxify, it starts to fail. And that is what we're talking about here, is maintaining your gut health so that we maintain our overall health. Use of natural herbal supplements that allow our body to behave like it did when we were younger. All right, that's pretty much the mantra of LifeVantage. There are different strategies, both for gut health, for immune system health, for skin health, that allow your body to behave as it did when you were younger. And I think that's what I find most exciting about the LifeVantage products. So our gut itself is about the size of a single tennis court. All right, that's a big area. It's one cell thick. It's got trillions, 300 trillion microbes in it. All right, we have about 30 trillion cells, depending on the number of red blood cell count you have in your body. But you have 10 to 30 in your that make up you. You have 300 trillion or 10 to 30 times more microbes inside your gut. And what's interesting is that just recently, back in 2013, they finished a 5-year research study called the Human Microbiome Project and found some really interesting things. We got about 25,000 genes in the body. Microbes have about 3.3 million genes between the different types of microbes. All right, that's astounding. So the genetic diversity inside our gut is much, much larger than we have inside our own cells. So they make up a greater genetic component than we have in our own bodies, separate from these microbes. They found that identical twins have different biomes, so the gut makeup can be different. It's established very early in life. Where is that? Okay, it takes about in the first 800 days, your gut is actually developing a snapshot of what's going to be there for the rest of your life. Starting early with diverse foods, using pre and probiotics is a good idea for that reason. Okay. Mistakes in the past were giving patients live bacteria when you're giving probiotics. These probiotics had to be kept away from light, from heat. You have to give them in a dark bottle, sing them a lullaby. And we found in the past decade that they're all destroyed by our stomach acid, which is in many cases 1.1 pH and just destroys them. So we have to develop a way that these bacteria will survive. Let me just go back here. All right, so on top of the three pillars, all right, there are 3 basic pillars that we're talking about tonight. And when it comes to gut health, one is preparing the soil, so to speak, such that things will grow. I was raised on a farm, so I know all about preparing soil before you plant tomatoes and cucumbers and that kind of thing. Creating and maintaining proper gut health, and then reducing free radical damage and inflammation inside the gut, and then as a result inside the rest of the body. So we know that the probiotics in the past have been destroyed. Why were these things beneficial in the past? I was giving earlier in my career, I'd give probiotics to patients, to infants, powder form. Of course, they're all broken down in the gut. 90% of them, almost 100% of them were destroyed in the gut and weren't able to grow. But we know from recent research that the Peyer's patches and gall tissue inside the gut, if you stimulate it by giving patients dead bacteria to start with, or give them probiotics that will be subsequently killed in the gut, both of those things can stimulate those parts of your immune system, and that's a good thing. All right. So having the ability to stimulate the immune system is a good thing. So in conclusion here, both live and heat killed bacteria provided enteral, so gut route decreased lipopolysaccharides, which is a chemical that we test for inflammation in the body. So this was the way in the past that we could actually improve the immune system. Now we can improve the immune system, not just by putting in bacteria that are dead, but increasing the ability to grow live bacteria and changing the flora of the gut. So in those first 800 days, things are set. If you have a good diet, kids are breastfed, that helps with the development of the GI tract. That snapshot is good. If kids are put on antibiotics in the first year of life, certainly that's in the first 800 days of life, and then some other pathological bacteria gets in there, it's been very, very difficult to change those bacteria because they don't want to give up their property inside the gut. And we haven't been able to grow bacteria because we couldn't get it by the stomach acid. So that's a very important thing to remember. So that was the best thing we could do now. Okay. Back then it was eating well, avoiding toxic foods. That was the best we had. Now with our ability to prepare the soil, so to speak, which is the environment in which these bacteria, these good probiotics can grow. The first pillar here is using a good prebiotic. So what are prebiotics? Prebiotics are a way to basically prepare the soil. I like the farming analogy because it makes sense to me. These are the things that are specific in this product, the Physique Prebiotic by LifeVantage. The big word there, the different oligo or polysaccharides. These oligosaccharides are basically complex carbohydrates, kind of like fiber. They're the food that bacteria will chow down on in order to grow. So they have 4 different oligosaccharides here, polysaccharides, and fructooligosaccharides, the pretics, which is a zoooligosaccharide. It's a fiber basically. It's beneficial for the gut and helps both in healthy and overweight gut population. Fructooligosaccharides is a source of soluble fiber. Then you've got insoluble fiber, which is inulin. Then you've got brown seaweed extract. Doesn't sound that appetizing, but it's a sulfur-containing polysaccharide, which helps growth of the bacteria as well. And the one thing I like about all the different LifeVantage products is they're very well thought out. They're very well developed. The research talent they have is second to none. And included in their prebiotic are some amino acids that glutamine, lysine, and leucine that help in two ways. Helps to reduce appetite in humans and also aids in bacterial growth as well. So that is a product that will set the stage so that when you're adding your probiotics, the ProBio specifically from LifeVantage, they have a much better chance to grow in a healthy and robust way to help with your gut health. Let's go to, so better soil, the better the soil, the better the crops. That's what I like to say about that. And the second pillar here is good old fashioned ProBio. It has been recently updated, It's gone from a 3 hard tablet configuration to 1 capsule configuration. And its claim to fame is it still gets through the stomach acid. So as I alluded to previously, the ability for the bacteria to get through the stomach acid to survive that very low pH that denatures proteins and destroys everything is still there. That's extremely important. It also has Wellmune, which is a patented immune system booster for gut health, produced by somebody else. They were smart enough to include that in there. And it has 6 billion CFUs, which are colony forming units that actually get through the stomach. And then I got to take that out. That actually was an incorrect slide there. So it no longer uses the BioTrack system. It delivers the probiotics into the gut to the capsule, which dissolves in order to drop off the bacteria where they're going to grow. You set the stage with the prebiotic. You've given your gut, because to be honest, most patients don't have the complex polysaccharides in their diet. They're not big on vegetables, they're not big on fruits. And because of that, they lack the ability to set the stage for good bacterial growth. So having the prebiotic will set the stage for that growth. Adding the ProBio will allow those bacteria to reach where they're supposed to grow and grow in a robust fashion. So here are the different of the 6 billion colony forming units. These are the different constituents that are on the next 2 slides here. We'll go over them briefly. And the idea that some patients say, well, my probiotic has 40 billion, colony forming units. That's great, but a very small percentage of those get through. It's not doing what they think it's doing. So it's not the quantity, it's the amount. It's not the overall quantity, it's the quantity that survives. It's a percentage that survives. And this new product they have, it has increased the percentage. And maybe Daniel, you can talk to this speak to this when I'm done. I don't know what the top percentage is, but it was a significant improvement over the older product. And again, they don't sit on their laurels. They don't rest on their laurels. They want to get the best product, and they'll make changes as they see fit in order to improve the efficacy of their products. So the different bacterial strains, not to go into great detail, but these are picked for very specific reasons. They're used to clinically treat irritable bowel syndrome, helps to make your own antibiotics in the gut. Some of these bacteria will make antibiotics which keep other ones in line, and that's what the Lactobacillus plantarum does. They have different acidophilus strains which improve your cold and flu symptoms, helps to reduce body weight. Bifidobacter lactis, which is a very important one. It has anti-cancer activity, and these are all well-established research findings regarding these particular strains of bacteria. You can look these up on your own if you'd like. Increased T cell activity, which also improves the immune system. Lactobacillus casei inhibits pathological growth in the gut, which is very important. It inhibits 2 types of cancer, lung and bladder cancer. Rhamnosus, Lactobacillus there helps with metabolic endotoxemia, which is leaky gut syndrome. We've used the term leaky gut syndrome for a very, very long time. And then the allopaths came up with an idea of renaming it metabolic endotoxemia, which means you can bill more for that diagnosis. That's a bad joke, but I think that was part of the reason. And what the leaky gut is that one cell thick barrier between you and the outside world. The broken down food particles that you're eating, digesting in the breaking down in the stomach, getting the nutrients out in the small intestine and going into large intestine to absorb water. In the small intestine, you're pulling out the nutrients. In large intestine, you have that massive area. And those cells are supposed to have very, very good tight junctions, which means they're all side by side like an impenetrable army that keeps everybody out. And the food proteins are supposed to go, and other products are supposed to go through the cell and into your bloodstream. And your body says, oh, I recognize that's a egg protein or a milk protein. No big deal. It's been processed properly. It's in the bloodstream. Now we can handle it properly. If that protein, for example, I use proteins because they cause more of the autoimmune issues. If that protein goes in between the cells now, your body says, hey, what's that? It may be a bacteria. It may be a virus. It may be a fungus. Your body is trained to make antibodies against foreign invaders. And if it's one of those three I just mentioned, let's say it's a virus, for example, or bacteria, foreign invading bacteria, your immune system will attack that and kill it. And that's good. That's what your immune system is supposed to do. If, however, it's a protein from an egg protein or milk protein, your body can't kill proteins. So it's going to make more and more of these antibodies against substances, and for my example here, the different food proteins that it can't kill. And you'll make more and more and more of those. And one of the things about immunology is there is a theory, there's a fact I should say, that says when it comes to your immune system, close enough is good enough. Your immune system remembers things, it'll attack things that it remembers, and if it identifies something that's similar to what it's had in the past, it'll attack that as well, which is good, again, if it's a foreign bacteria or foreign virus that's invading us. The body has these memory cells, it produces antibodies against those and kills them. If you can't kill a protein, and your body makes more and more of these antibodies against protein because the proteins are sneaking in between the cells and not going through the cells, those antibodies build up. And at some point, the antibody that's made for your egg protein will say, yeah, I know I'm made for the egg protein, but that skin tissue or that bone tissue reminds me of that. Let's go attack that. And that is the genesis of autoimmune problems. So how it's classically treated right now, you see all the ads on TV, is they'll suppress the immune system. So you'll take these biologics, as they're called, to squash the entire immune system down, which is a really good short-term way of reducing symptoms, but it's a horrible long-term way to address the problem. Because if you suppress the immune system long enough, you're also suppressing cancer-killing cells, NK cells, and there are different cells that kill cancer on a regular basis, and you're suppressing all the immune system, including those cells. And that's why you can't stay on those cells, those products indefinitely, because if you read the fine print, lymphoma, leukemia, cancers will result from long-term suppression of the immune system. So in my office, we like to treat the heart of the problem, which means finding out who the bad guys are in the gut. There are tests to do that. Who has antibodies against certain foods, avoid those certain foods, clean up the gut, and then re-inoculate with the prebiotic and the probiotics. So I hope that makes sense. So that's your treatment of metabolic endotoxemia, or as most of you have heard it before, leaky gut syndrome. And the Bifidobacter species there helps the immune system and fights infection. So they picked their 6 different types of bacteria very wisely in my book. And I think they did a very good job putting this together and in a way that it's helped my patients immensely. And I have some testimonials from patients where their kids had specific challenges that it's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal, the change that they've had. So third pillar, just to kind of wrap things up, is the last idea there was avoiding inflammation and reduce free radical damage. Having a clean diet, okay, staying away from alcohol, staying away from salted foods, from fried foods, from foods that are overcooked in the barbecue with the AGEs, glycation end products, advanced glycation end products, also is a good way to reduce the amount of inflammatory response you have in the body. Putting less gas on a fire is a good idea if you want the fire to go out. So this is a simple way to do that. But and I'm kind of sad we didn't see that video yet, but the video that we'll see afterwards will be a very, very good clue on another way that we can reduce free radical damage. And as a matter of fact, the flagship product that Daniel was alluding to before is the only way to decrease oxidative stress in human beings by an average of 40% in 30 days, which is a phenomenal accomplishment in nutrition. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So there is a way that we can reduce what we're taking into our diet, which can make things worse. All right. Donuts, as much as we love donuts, one of the worst foods ever. French fries, fried foods, horrible things. Alcohol, I hate to tell you, it's only red wine that has any health benefit, and it's only like 5 to 7 ounces a day. Everything else is just poison as far as your body's concerned. But avoiding those things as much as we can helps keep the gas off the fire. And then taking a product like Protandim, which can enhance our gene expression to allow us to destroy free radicals at a much, much higher rate as we age, to the extent that it's the same rate of free radical destruction we had when we were a kid, which is just phenomenal. So that will be, I guess, the video that you'll see. If not, and you're with someone that has shared this information with you, I'm sure they'll be able to forward that video that you can see it and enjoy it yourself. But make no mistake about it, it is one of the most important products you will ever hear of, bar none. So, real food sources. I'll just like to give this an example, a brief example. Just a couple slides left here. I tell patients, if it came from a plant, eat it. If it was made in a plant, don't. All right, pretty straightforward. Other people say, well, if you can't pronounce the ingredients, don't eat it. That's not a bad idea either. But if it came from a plant, it's okay. If it was made within a plant, and I mean a manufacturing plant, don't eat it. And if you want the best results, taking probiotics, something every day, you need to do something every day. And the best one available today is your ProBio. All right. That's just what wraps it up. I guess about 20 minutes I was yakking away there. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I hope I didn't put anybody to sleep.
Oh, well, thank you, Dr. Huey. Appreciate it. And just let everybody know too that Dr. Huey has been on several times and talking about not only our flagship product Protandim, but also the and what it was called the NRF1, which helps to repair and grow the mitochondria, which is the energy base in your cells, and of course the NAD. Talking about Protandim individually, then collectively, all three of those. So those are on beeducatedinyourhealth.com/video. This will be there as well. So for those of you who are distributors, of course, it's a resource that you can go to, especially he mentioned the leaky gut syndrome and all those other things if you have people with those kind of questions. But to basically, let me, correct me, Dr. Huey, but those three pillars that you talked about. Number one, the prebiotic helps, as you called, prepare the soil for growth, which means that it'll help prepare the growth, hopefully, of the good bacteria, right? I mean, there's the good and the bad bacteria. And the point is then the probiotic comes in and it helps to basically, in other words, if the prebiotic is preparing the soil, the probiotic is planting the seeds, right?
Correct.
It's helping to, it's fertilizing the good bacteria. Am I right in saying that? To help the good bacteria to grow, and which produces the good health now. And then when you add the Protandim, which activates our own God-given antioxidant enzymes to eliminate the free radical damage we're talking about, that will help to reduce and to eliminate the bad bacteria. Is that the right process, or am I missing something?
The idea about having a cleaner diet using the Protandim to decrease overall inflammation and free radical damage. That was my point there. It's not have nearly as important as an effect as the prebiotic and probiotic on the gut health itself, because you're activating your own genes. No good studies yet showing what the Protandim does when it comes to working on bacterial genes, which I don't think it does. So there's no worry about that. But it definitely activates our own genes to make the enzymes to the same extent as we did when we were younger, which is fantastic.
Right. So yeah, for activating all the 30.3 million genes in our gut, right? Whatever,
Yes.
however many percentage of those are being activated in a good way, that's all good stuff. So absolutely. Well, great. Listen, so all of you, thank you so much for being on tonight. Dr. Huey, thank you. Now listen, for any of those who would like to stay on, any of you who would like to see a bit of the more, we're going to move into we're sharing about some of the other products, but a business presentation. Hopefully, if we can put the slides up, we're going to do that. For any of you who'd like to stay on and learn about the business side of LifeVantage, as you mentioned here, I don't know. I should probably have this statistic. I'm going to go find it though. How big the pre and probiotic industry is, because I know it's big. There's so many companies having it out there. No, and if we have one of the best, and by the way, I think the percentages was with the 3 spheres that we were doing, it would actually 76 to 80%, it would reach at least 76 to 80% of the gut. And so if this is actually doing even a better percentage of that,
Yeah.
it's like you said, it's way better than anything else that's out there.
Yeah.
And if it's increased upon the 76 to 80%, then we're doing really good, because like you said, I even spoke with a urologist out of Orlando, and he says, well, as I explained it to him, he asked me that very question: how many CFUs do you have? And it was all, it was all about, do you have enough? And I told him, the 6 billion. He said, oh,
Yeah.
And so without realizing that again, that the probiotic perhaps that they're using was not getting down into all the way through the gut, wasn't getting into the small intestine and what have you. And so that's a very important, one of the most important points we can bring out as far as differentiating between, among other things, like you said, and I appreciate it for those who could hang with you there to go through the various ingredients within the pre and probiotic, because we got to know why with everything else that's out there, what sets us apart, why this pre and probiotic. And so that's very important. Other than the fact that I take my prebiotic and I mix it with my Axio, and man, it is as good as a dragon fruit tastes. I think it even makes it taste better. Just FYI, everybody out there. And if you don't know what Axio is, get with the person who invited you here to find out. Okay, but it's a tremendous all natural healthy energy drink that I take every afternoon, and now sometimes mornings. So eliminating that 1 cup of coffee now. So it's tremendous. But anyway, any other last words or anything, Dr. Huey, as far as that goes?
No, if anybody has any questions, you can forward them to me. That'd be fine. I know you've done that in the past. People have taken questions, and Kathy just sent them on. I will respond. Not our problem.
Okay. So you guys, and in the future, we're going to be going to a different platform. Everybody, we're going to be going to StreamYard. And in the StreamYard, even though you guys are watching through the live stream, and of course, Dr. Huey and I are here presenting live to you, it'll be like that, but there will be a chat that we'll be able to do, that you'll be able to ask questions on the chat. It'll be a little more user-friendly for all of us. And so we'll be looking forward to that as we get to learn of that platform better. We'll be presenting in the future on that. For many of you know, Brandon Cunningham, that's what he uses. We're going to be using that as well. So I think it's actually just a little bit better tool than the Zoom. So just look forward to that. But yes, anybody, of course, contact us if you have your question. In fact, I think Dr. Huey, we did get a question about the leaky gut, and I think you adequately explained that there regarding that. So that was already again a question that you've been able to answer. But once again, if you have any questions, thank you, Dr. Huey, for being available, and to our team and the guests that have come on tonight. And we really appreciate your willingness to impart your knowledge that you are not just theoretically experiencing, but actually again experientially through your patient base and people that these are things that you are personally administering to your patient base, which is so important to know. This isn't just talk or theoretical or whatever. You're really talking about the real science and the effectiveness of these products on a patient base that, of course, you have a very strong and great practice up there in Tarpon Springs. So we greatly appreciate that.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
From you. So, okay. Well, having said that, we're going to move on. If you are, and by the way, one last thing. Of course, if you have never seen that the video about our flagship product, it's a ABC Primetime Investigative Report, or many of us are using what is called the link to the crazyyellowpill.com/science. You can go and check that out. Hopefully the distributor that brought you on has already showed you that. If not, then that's a great follow-up for you guys to do with those guests that you have on tonight. So having said that, we're going to just go through a little bit of the business side of LifeVantage. For those of you who if you're a guest and you're hearing about these awesome products, we wanted to just share with you just real quickly, of course, about LifeVantage. And so as we begin here with, we're just going to talk about real quickly, my wife and I, our story. As you know, we for years now, 40 plus years, we've been in the ministry all of our adult lives. But 10 years ago, a pastor actually shared with us about a product. And he said, he had acute fibromyalgia, would be in bed for days, sometimes after exerting himself. And he said, I can no longer claim medical disability because of this product. And he encouraged me to go watch an ABC Primetime Investigative Report, which, we'll share with you in just a second. But we saw this for the first time. We're not scientists. We're not medical doctors like a Dr. Huey, but we just knew that we had never heard the term oxidative stress before. But we just knew that we said, if this is real, this could be really big. And honestly, we jumped into the business for the first time again in our adult lives, and we began to go to work. One of our things is that, of course, our desire was to be more financially free. At the time when we started, we were, really, as preachers and as ministers, we didn't have any savings. We didn't have really any kind of retirement to fall back on whatsoever. We're always living by faith and so forth. And so, but what we committed to is that if we could actually, through this company and through these products, we felt like, that we go in business for the first time, and that if we could, we would be able to then, if we were successful, we'd be able to give back our salaries and not take a salary any further from our nonprofit. That was our goal. And in 13 months, we gave back my salary. 16 months, we gave back not only my salary, but my wife's salary. And we'll just show you what those kind of numbers are here at the end of this presentation. But so we were out, so it was a huge win-win for us. We, by sharing these life-giving products with other people, actually dealing with something that everybody has, which is oxidative stress, that we were able to derive an income from that and do it as we continued to work in our nonprofit organization. So guys, that was it's been a huge blessing and a win for us. And, we have many stories in regard to that. But what our objective now is to help you to be able to attain that same kind of freedom. Well, part of that is because, we do have a great company. The company is LifeVantage. It is a publicly traded company. You can see the stock, the number, it's traded on the NASDAQ, and the symbol is LFVN there. And we went, as we were introduced into this in 2000, in late November of 2010. But it was basically in retail, our flagship product, Protandim, and it went into eventually network marketing in 2009. And from 2009, for the next 4 years, it went from 3 million in sales to over 200 million in sales, and now we're around 240 million. And we're looking to now launch, and you'll see that timing curve that we're going to share in just a little bit. But we're looking, of course, now we're looking to move on to being a $1 billion company. And so you're at the right company at the right time as we continue to grow to that $1 billion company. So, and of course, we have tremendous management here with Experience Management. Our new CEO is Steve Fife. We are debt free as a company, and we are global. We're in 26 countries. So immediately as you come in, you have access to doing business in 26 countries. And as you know, what's really important here, especially during this, we call this a COVID-free business. In other words, we continued to be in business and we continued to grow in the midst of last year. In fact, some of our best months in the company was last year. And of course, that's important to know because everybody's thinking about their health, and they're thinking about other streams of income besides the typical brick and mortar, which people couldn't do the brick and mortar last year. So this is what I call a COVID-free business. Home-based businesses with flexible hours. You earn as you learn. Literally, as you're learning this, not just about this company, but you're learning about a new industry. It is a $240 billion business, which, that's bigger than the NFL, that's bigger than the movie industry and so on, all combined. You don't have a boss, it's up to you. You can find out really, what your value is. And it's not limited, as we mentioned, to any location. And so that's obviously trending with the Ubers and the Airbnbs and what have you. Our flagship product, of course, is Protandim. I don't know if we're able to share that video or not, but if it's possible, we'll share that video and then go into that as well. So we got that. No, that's not the video. Let's move on. Okay. So, that's not the one on, honey. So thank you very much. But anyway, guys, I'd like to share with you, if you haven't had a chance, go to crazyyellowpill.com/science, crazyyellowpill.com/science, and you'll be able to see the ABC Primetime Investigative Report that was done on this. But basically, let me just share with you a little bit about Protandim and its significance and importance without the video tonight. Protandim is 5 herbs that work synergistically together. It's ashwagandha, bacopa, green tea, milk thistle, and turmeric. So it's not about those ingredients individually, but collectively, as you can see here, we have 7 patents, so you don't patent a banana, you can't patent an herb. So what it is that synergistic blend of those 5 ingredients that work together. And what Protandim is an activator. You see, as we grow older, our antioxidant enzymes, they begin to slow down and stop working. What is the job of these enzymes? These enzymes were designed to eliminate free radicals and to take them out. And because it's this free radical damage that produces something called oxidative stress. And what we find is that oxidative stress is at the very center of several hundred diseases. And so so when we are able to eliminate the free radicals and lower oxidative stress, then we're attacking the very source and reason why we, not the symptom, but the very source of why we disease, age, and die. So what happens is, as we grow older, these antioxidant enzymes, which are gobbling up all these free radicals, as John Quinones would say, they begin to slow down and stop working. Therefore, the free radicals are literally free or at liberty to do the relentless damage to our bodies. And over a period of time, that damage results in what we call as oxidative stress, but it results in diseases like diabetes and heart disease and cancer and fibromyalgia and arthritis and so on. So all these various diseases are attached to this thing called oxidative stress. And so what our product does is then it is able to penetrate the cell and activate these enzymes. We call it flipping the switch, just like you have electricity, in there at your house. It's there. But unless you flip the switch, you're not going to get the benefit of the electricity. So the same way, the enzymes, the antioxidant enzymes are there. Those enzymes that gobble up and take out the free radicals, they're there, but the switch isn't turned on. Protandim is a switch. So it penetrates the cell and it sends a signal to these antioxidant enzymes to hey guys, go back to work. And they receive that message and the enzymes are turned back on. And when they're turned on, they work just like they did when you were in your teens, literally just like they did when you were in your teens. And how were they working? They are taking out up to 1 million free radicals every second of every day. Now that is so powerful because, you know, today there's a $30 billion antioxidant industry, and that industry is these antioxidants, they work on a one-to-one basis. For every one antioxidant molecule produces, it'll take out one free radical and then it's done. But when your own body's enzymes are activated, it's eliminating up to 1 million free radicals every second of every day. And it's for that reason, when you're eliminating that many free radicals, therefore the oxidative stress level is going to lower up to 40 to 70% in people. And so that's the only product in the world that is scientifically validated to do this very thing. And the reason why the one-to-one isn't sufficient enough, even as Dr. McCord would say, it's not a good enough tool, is because they, as you heard just Dr. Huey share, we have anywhere from 10 trillion to 30 trillion cells that make up our body. So one-to-one will never get it done. And so that's why this is such a breakthrough. And as Washington State University said, they think it's the greatest breakthrough, you know, in our lifetime. So very, very powerful. And then with that, you'll see that we bundle that together with what we talked about with the same technology. We have the product called NRF1, which again, it penetrates the cell and it actually repairs and helps to grow the mitochondria. Now, why is that so important? Because that's the energy base for for every cell. And why is that important? Well, just think about, you know, how much wear and tear your heart has taken, pumping every day, right? And so that in itself, so it's heart, lung, and upper body health of your brain and so forth. The mitochondria is so important, the production of that. And then of course the NAD, which basically helps to basically manage a cell. If you've ever been to a dysfunctional or mismanaged a restaurant, you know what I'm talking about. It's a mess. You don't, and so in the same way, oftentimes what we find without the NAD there, our cells in the enzymes and so forth, they're not managed, they're dysfunctional, and so forth. Your body can't operate at its optimum. Now, when you take all these three products together, you know, not only is the effectiveness individually, you know, it's there, but when you put them together, their effectiveness goes way up. In fact, you know, so it is with, as you take all three of these, the effectiveness on Protandim, you know, goes way up as well. We have that chart. We need to share that with you, but that's the basis of taking what we call our tri-synergizer. Okay. So, and then the other products that we have with the same kind of, experience and technology is, of course, our clean products, depending on what you're putting in on your body. There is an app called Think Dirty, and that app helps you to take the products within your home. It's fun to try anyway. Find out what kind of, you plug in your shampoo and plug in your deodorant and whatever, and put it into this Think Dirty app and find out where it's at. All of our products, it goes from 0 to 10, 0, 1, 2, are means you got a really good, clean products. And all of our products are no higher than a 2. Most of them are 1. And so that they're clean from all the chemicals and all those sort of things, which is really good to know. And so that's what it really is, our products as well. And so we can see some of those. Of course, you got your hair care, and you can see this is at the hair care system there. You can see not only hair growth, but you have, of course, full hair and so forth. I've been using it and so forth, and it really has helped. I actually had a woman yesterday. I'm going to just be on. Had a woman yesterday walk into our office. She says, "Man, your hair looks so good." And of course, I got the opportunity to tell her about our hair care. So, so anyway, but you can see with those pictures how great the hair it's looked, not only to grow it, but then the fullness of it and so forth. I think you've got whole companies built on just a hair care system, and ours is top notch. The True Science is where you take Protandim in a lotion form, and for the largest organ in your body, for the skin. So you'll see here. Now this is a whole beauty kit, True Science beauty kit, which it has, the facial cleanser, perfecting lotion, the eye serum, and so forth, and of course our True Science. But you see, so that's something my wife uses, of course, as a foundation and so forth that she puts on every day. But then you have the True Science, which affects more than just, of course, your wrinkles and so forth in your face, but it's really there for all kinds of things. We've seen people use it, and you can see here pictures of the people with eczema and psoriasis, and you can see just incredible burns and what have you. Even person we know of a gal that can't literally walk into our house because she was crying because she had some a poison ivy and she couldn't stop the itching. Actually, literally went to the hospital to try to stop it. The lotion that the hospital gave her wouldn't stop the itching. She put on the True Science, and literally within a minute, the itching had stopped. I'm just telling you the truth. So you can see here as people apply the True Science to their various skin problems, how it's helped them with that as well. So not only is it a beauty skincare system, but also for many other things dealing with the skin. Our Axios, as I mentioned to it, the natural, all healthy energy drink that we use. And we're coming out with now the Strawberry Splash, which is really fantastic. But you can see here where people were taking the Protandim. Well, we have a child with ADD, and you can see from the right to the left to the right, there is that what his handwriting looked like before that, but it helped him with his mental focus and so forth, and his concentration to able to then right now. These actually came from Dr. Hugh. This is a testimony from Dr. Hugh, who you just had on. So awesome stuff, tastes great and really good for you. And well, we take it every afternoon. And of course, you heard about our gut health, right? And so you take the pre and the probiotics that goes along with our weight management. My son Luke and my daughter-in-law Alicia, they're onto that right now, doing a great job with that. And we're waiting for their results. But of course, weight management, meaning, this is not a starve yourself and so forth, and then you're going to add back the weight. This is where you can lose the weight and maintain it. So, and then of course, the pet tandem is that, yes, dogs, cats, horses, mammals have 7 times oxidative stress. That's why you got the dog is 10 years old, but 70 in dog years. Yeah, that's why, because they have 7 times the oxidative stress level of that of a human being. And so, yes, incredible, no placebo effect here, guys. Incredible testimony among animals. So we have the pet tandem, Protandim, for our pets. There you go. So that kind of gives you a really quick, broad sweeping of all of our products here, right? And so now let's get down to the business of it, because most of you are asking, well, how much is it? And so we want to answer these questions. How much is it? How do I get my money back? How do I continue to make money? How much money can I make? Can I personally do this? And is it the right time for me? So first of all, let's talk about, of course, we're not talking about the individual products. We're going to encourage you to get with your distributor to do that. But we're talking about actually investing in becoming a business right now. So there's 2 packs that we have. We call the Premier Pack and the Elite Pack. And so the difference, of course, is that the Premier Pack is someone who's want to just test the waters about the business and so forth. You get some of the products and what have you, and of course you get a starter kit. With the Elite Pack, you get all the products. You get a registration to our training, and of course that is designed for you to be a product of all the products, and for you to become a right away, you just know you want to build this business and you're a serious business builder. So how do you get your money back? You can see the 2 prices here. The Premier Pack is $299, and that's what you get. And of course, you can see all the product and so forth, as I mentioned. Of course, with both these, immediately within seconds of you enrolling, you get your own replicated website. So you're immediately in business. We can see all the products that you get here in the $99 pack. And of course, as I mentioned, with that then also comes all the training for a year as well. So great opportunity. Now, when you enroll, and how do you get your money back? If you enrolled in a Premier Pack, then if you enroll 3 people, okay, enroll 3 people, and that you've made your initial money back. So what I like to share with people is how they get their money back, get the return on their investment, and then how they make the big money. But basically, what we call our Smart Start bonus, when you enroll a customer or distributor, you're going to make at least 40%. It can show you even how, with another bonus, how you can go beyond the 40%, but up to at least 40% on enrollments. Anybody that you enroll as a customer or distributor, you're going to make 40%. So that's a huge number, right? By the way, let me just share this real quick. We have another bonus because there's 6 ways to get paid in LifeVantage. It's been the best compensation plan in network marketing several years in a row. So if you're looking at, again, earn as you learn, this is a great company to be in regarding that. But we have something called the bonus pool. So when you enroll people, if you'll enroll up to 5 people in a given month, that you get thrown into a bonus pool. And so what happens is that with myself this past month, I entered that bonus pool. And so because I enrolled 5 people, I didn't make just because I got paid on the bonus pool. I don't make just the 40%, but I got paid 60% on those enrollments. Wow, that's hard to come by, where you can get 60% commission on initial enrollments. And that's what I earned this past month. Very exciting. So you enroll 3, whether it be an elite pack, you enroll the same packet 3 times, and there's no time limit on that. You enroll it 3 times, you get your money back. You know, the bottom line is that, think about it, in your typical brick and mortar, number one, it takes years before you get your return on your initial investment, years. And of course, that initial investment is not $300. You're looking at $25,000, $30,000, right? And imagine this, for $300 to $1,000, you get to be in business, and you're in business in 26 countries immediately. That's incredible. All the other benefits and so forth are amazing. And by the way, you don't have to worry about the shipping and so forth to all these countries. LifeVantage takes care of all that for you. So you can get into many more of those details. But now let's talk about the big money. We call it the royalty commission or the royalty bonus. I just love to show people how they make the big money here. So you get your initial return on your investment, and then the royalty bonus, as you can see here, but you can see that basically we call it the Michael Jackson bonus or the Elvis Presley bonus. He continues to make money even dead, right? For years and years, the Graceland continues to get money poured into that foundation because Elvis continues to get paid on his records and so forth, and his movies and what have you. So we want to get that same kind of celebrity mailbox money, don't we? And so once you do the work and you continue to get paid, honestly, I'd never been in network marketing before, and I really questioned all that. But I can tell you, it's the real deal, is that you continue to get paid, that residual income, as people continue to use our products. So very, very exciting. So the bottom line is this, is that, when you enroll your first 5 distributors, and each one of those, and you can see the number of products we have, not too hard to imagine how they would be getting $200 worth of product here every month. Well, those 5 distributors on that first level, getting $200 worth of product, is a total of $1,000, and you get paid on the royalty bonus 2%. So that'd be a whopping $20. So that's not really the big deal right now, but of course, each and every one of us will take $20 coming in every month, right? We're not going to say no to that. But the real deal is that you've got 5 people, that's your team, to help build this business. And of course, what we're going to encourage them and use together is that we're going to help them. This is a system that we have with Team TrueBlue, through using the IT&T and so forth. You'll learn about that, but we're going to help your 5 to get 5, right? And so if that were to happen, now you become not only just 5, but now there's 25 distributors in your business, all at $200 worth of product each month. And that's how we get paid. We get paid on product. At the second level, it's at 5%. And now the company's going to send you a check on this one bonus, $250. Now, if we would continue that, and I know this is it looks like perfect replication, and there's nothing's perfect, but it gives you the power and the dynamic of just one of our bonuses here. So now the 25 are all to get 5. Now you're at 125 distributors, all at $200, minimum of $200 of product, and they're at the third level getting 9%. And so now that's basically that's $200 that's $25,000 worth of product. So now the company's going to send you $2,250. Wow. Imagine that. Now, to some people, that could be a replaceable income, right? But that's at the third level. All right. You're at $30,000 a year at the third level. As you can see here, how many levels do we got? We got 9 levels. You're a third of the way through this bonus and you're already at 30 grand. Does that sound pretty good to you? Sounds good to me. But just for grins, let's just go one more level down. Let's go to the 4th level. So if the 125 were, again, we're to get 5 and all getting paid at $200, or we're purchasing $200 worth of product. Now, that you're going to get paid $6,000